In 2008, Christopher Nolan released a superhero film that wasn't really about superheroes at all. The Dark Knight is a philosophy lecture disguised as a blockbuster, and at its center is one of cinema's most genuinely dangerous ideas, delivered by a man in smeared makeup who never tells the same story about his scars twice. The Joker doesn't want Gotham's money. He burns it. He doesn't want power. He mocks everyone who does. He wants one thing: to prove a philosophical argument. And by the end of the film, you're not entirely sure he's wrong. This is where curiosity meets truth. The Joker's argument is this: morality is not real. Order is not natural. Civilization is not humanity's default state. It is a performance. A fragile, collective agreement that exists only as long as nobody tests it seriously. Push people far enough, frighten them enough, take away enough of what they value, and the performance ends. Every person becomes capable of everything. This is philosophical nihilism in its purest cinematic form. Nihilism, from the Latin nihil, meaning nothing, is the philosophical position that life has no objective meaning, morality has no foundation, and the values we construct are ultimately arbitrary. The Joker doesn't argue this abstractly. He tests it empirically. Every scene is an experiment. Every character is a subject. Harvey Dent, Gotham's White Knight, the man who believes in justice, becomes Two-Face. Commissioner Gordon, the one honest cop, watches his city burn. Batman, the hero who won't kill, is pushed to the edge of his own rule over and over again. The Joker is running a philosophical experiment with live human subjects, and he's keeping notes. But here's where it gets truly interesting. To understand why the Joker is so philosophically significant, we need to go back 350 years, to Thomas Hobbes. In 1651, Hobbes wrote Leviathan, one of the most important works in the history of political philosophy. His argument was brutal and simple. Without society, without law, without order, human life would be, in his words, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. He called this the state of nature, humanity without rules, every person against every other. Society, the social contract, exists because people agreed it was better to give up some freedom in exchange for safety and order. The Joker's entire mission is to dissolve that contract, to take Gotham back to Hobbes's state of nature, to prove that the agreement was always fragile, that it only holds when it's convenient. And here is what makes this genuinely chilling. History gives the Joker some evidence. Every genocide began with ordinary people who followed orders. Every mob was once a group of neighbors. Every atrocity had participants who would have described themselves, 1 year earlier, as decent human beings. The Joker isn't entirely inventing his argument. He's reading the historical record. And then, the ferry scene. 2 boats on Gotham Harbor, one carrying civilians, one carrying prisoners. Each boat has a detonator that will destroy the other. The Joker's ultimatum: one boat must destroy the other by midnight, or he destroys both. This is the trolley problem made cinematic and visceral. Do you sacrifice others to save yourself? Does the social contract hold when the stakes are existential? The Joker is convinced it doesn't. He has designed the experiment to guarantee its collapse. And then, neither boat detonates. The civilians vote to press the button, and the man who actually holds it throws it into the river. The prisoners sit in silence. The Joker stares. For the first time in the film, he is surprised. His experiment failed. Or did it? Because here is the philosophical question the film leaves deliberately unanswered. Did the ferry scene prove the Joker wrong? Or did it prove that humans can choose to be better than their worst impulses, but only just barely, and only once, under extraordinary circumstances? Is that hope? Or is that a very low bar? If this is making you think differently, you know what to do. Subscribe button is right there. Batman is not just the Joker's opponent. He is the Joker's philosophical counter-argument. Where the Joker believes in nothing, Batman believes in one rule. He will not kill. Not because the law says so, not because it's practical, but because he has decided that one line, one absolute commitment, is what separates order from chaos. Immanuel Kant would have recognized this immediately. Kant's categorical imperative asks, what if everyone acted this way? The Joker's logic, do whatever it takes, rules are just constraints invented by the powerful. If universalized, produces chaos. Batman's logic, hold one absolute rule regardless of consequence. If universalized, produces civilization. The entire film is a debate between Kant and Nietzsche wearing capes and makeup. And Nolan never tells you who wins. Because the truth is, neither does. The Joker is defeated, but not disproven. Batman holds his rule, but at enormous cost. Harvey Dent, the real hope, is destroyed entirely. Gotham survives. But it survives on a lie. The Dark Knight endures not because of the action sequences or the production design, but because it asks a question philosophy has wrestled with for centuries and refuses to answer it cleanly. Are human beings fundamentally good? Or are we fundamentally capable of anything, with goodness being the choice we make when the conditions allow it? The Joker says the second, and he has evidence. Batman says the first is worth defending, even if the second is sometimes true. And that, more than any cape or gadget, is why Batman matters philosophically. Not because he's stronger than the Joker, but because he refuses to become him, even when it would be easier, even when it would save more lives, even when the Joker has proven, over and over again, that the rules cost more than they protect. He holds the line. Not because he's certain it's right, but because he has decided that who he chooses to be matters more than whether he wins. Kierkegaard would have called that a leap of faith. So here is your question for the comments. Was the Joker right? Not about the violence, about the argument. Is morality real? Or is it a performance that holds only when it's not seriously tested? Drop your answer below. This one will divide the comments. That's the point. New philosophy and pop culture explainer every Wednesday on Chasing Sunsets. Subscribe and hit the bell. Curious minds don't miss this one. This is where curiosity meets truth. See you next Wednesday.